common interview questions, guys. Okay, so the common interview questions would be like, what is identity and access management? Okay, so they may ask you a basic question: what is identity and access management? Okay, to just test your knowledge, like what you're gonna answer, and they're gonna test your knowledge, like what are all the benefits of SailPoint, what are the benefits of identity and access management products in the market. Okay, so those kind of questions they might ask you, guys. Okay, so when someone asks what is what is your what is identity and access management, or what is identity management, the answer would be simple. No, identity and access management is a set of business processes, no, uh, that are all no, supports an organization's infrastructure in terms of their creation and maintenance of the user identities, guys. Okay, so identity and access management is a set of business processes that will support the infrastructure of an organization in terms of creation and maintenance of the user identities, guys. Okay, so that is my definition of identity management or identity and access management. Yeah, so now let's talk about the benefits of this is common question. They will expect you to have the benefits of identity and access management. No, yeah, so what are the critical business benefits of identity and access management? Okay. So maybe this question you might expect no, in a second round, or maybe a managerial round, or maybe a directorial round. So they would expect, not technical, but they would expect generally, right? So what exactly the benefits of identity and access management? So those things, guys. Okay, so the benefits of identity and access management is enhancing the security, guys. Okay, so we can enhance the security inside the organization. So we can enhance the regulatory compliance inside the organization, guys. Okay, and cost savings. Okay, so we can do a proper cost savings if you have the proper identity and access access management product inside the organization. Okay, so that is the cost savings. No, with the help of IGA, you can do a lot of cost saving, like you can grant the access on the day one when the users joins inside the organization, or you may uh, give entire access. What are the access that user should be having as part of his job role and responsibilities? Okay, so those can be given on the day one itself, so that you can you should the employee should not wait for 30 days or maybe 60 days. Okay, for after joining, people will be waiting for 20 days or 30 days, because of the accesses. They will not generate any productivity, guys. Okay, so there will be no productivity. They will be ideally sitting inside the company. Yeah, and eventually when the when the month end comes, okay, we have to pay the remuneration for him, right? So you have to pay the salary for the user. Yeah, so if you give the access on the day one, then the user would, the employee would become productive for your organization, right? Entirely the organization will get benefited once you start being productive inside the project. Okay, so that is the cost savings, guys. Okay, eventually the cost savings, okay, you can benefit the cost savings, the organization can benefit the cost savings. Auditing, okay, a proper auditing can be happening inside the organization, guys. Okay, a automatic audit process can be achievable, if we have a proper IGA solution inside the organization. Yeah, minimize the internal data threats. Okay, so you can threats and risks inside the organizations. Okay, so if there are any identified threats happening inside the organization, internal data threats, everything can be minimalized if you have these IGA solutions in place, guys. Okay, so effective user governance, a proper governance of users can be taken place, like a timely reports can be generated. Okay, a proper analytics can be performed on top of the user. A proper governance structure can be built inside the organization. Okay, so that is the hierarchical structure, like who should report to whom. Okay, or what should be the escalation matrix, everything, guys. Okay, so SailPoint will design the matrix, that is the governance matrix for us, like the structure of the particular okay, so inside the organization, like who should report to whom. Yeah, Next, reduce the risk inside the organization, security breaches happening inside the organization. So as I said, right people with the right access at the right time. Okay, so that is one of the benefits of the organization, guys. Okay, if right people has the right access at the right time, then no security breaches will happen, guys. Okay, so if unwanted access or deliberated access has been given to certain users, then there will be a high risk of there will be high risk coming from that particular area, or maybe a security breaches coming from that particular area because of the unwanted information that has been shared to the user. Yeah, that is to the employee. Yeah. Yeah, so that is a reduced risk. So if you have the IGA product, so you can measure the risk inside the organization, and eventually you can avoid the security breaches. And yeah, next we have this proper management control. You can do proper control. As I said, the governance structure, when the governance structure is in place, a proper management control will happen inside the organization. Yeah. So when I say proper management control, it's nothing but that is a CRUD operations, guys. Okay. So there's a create, read, update operations, guys. Okay. So no, CRUD. That's my create, read, update, and delete operations, guys. Okay, so that is my CRUD operations, guys. Okay. Yeah, so management control. So no, the proper CRUD operations will be taken place if you have a proper management control in place. Yeah. Next, we have improve operational efficiency. There would be operational efficiency would be improved inside the organization, like in terms of giving the access, removing the access, everything will happen automatically. So eventually your operational efficiency will increase. So the deliverables of the application and services will be smoother. Yeah. Next, we have the business growth. So obviously, when the employee is productive, when the audits are properly know, in place, when right people has right access, most important, the business growth will happen inside the organization, guys. Okay, so reduce the time to deliver the application and services. So we can reduce the time, guys. Okay, so whatever the time of taking for giving the access manually, compared to automatic, so that will have a lot of time difference, guys. Okay, so why? Because there is a lot of manual involvement, lot of email exchanges are needed in order to provide an access. Okay, a lot of if you want to give an access to certain application, okay, so if you do not have an IGA product, okay, a lot of email exchanges, lot of no, you need to go to the help desk, you need to reach out to the help desk, ask them, okay, I need this particular access, all of that, guys. Okay, so automatic delivering the services would not be happening, guys. Okay, so when you have IGA products in place, that is SailPoint or any of the IGA products in place, then your application services can be delivered smoothly and being fasterly as well. Yeah, so that is my reduce to time the deliver no, deliver the application and services, guys. Okay, henceforth these are all the technical business benefits, okay, that are all yeah. So this is the question, so which is the common identity and identity, what is identity and access management, guys. Okay, well, so next the very popular question, yeah, what are the SailPoint connectors, okay, and integrations you have performed? Can you explain the process of an application, guys? Okay, so they might ask you the SailPoint connectors, what you have exactly worked inside the SailPoint, or maybe they might put you in a in a different way, like how many applications you have or application integrations you have performed. Can you explain them? Or can you explain a single application, and can you tell me the process of you know, onboarding an application? Okay, so those kind of questions you can expect, guys. Okay, so when you get this kind of question, so you should be aware of like what are the SailPoint connectors that are all available offer, as we know, SailPoint offers various advanced connectors, lot of seamless connectors, direct connectors that are all available, inside the SailPoint. Maybe your target application or the system you wanted to integrate with the SailPoint could be a cloud platform, or it could be a, a kind of on-premises platform, or a kind of hybrid model. So any kind of applications, guys. Okay, so SailPoint supports lot of inbuilt connectors, such as you know, enterprise infrastructure based connectors like Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, a lot of infrastructure related applications, ServiceNow, all of that, guys. Okay, so database management. So when I say database management, it means lot of database applications, like real-time database applications, like we have Oracle, we have SQL, MySQL, Microsoft SQL, IBM DB2. So there are a lot of databases, guys. Okay, so SailPoint does has connectors. Okay, so let me show you the list of connectors by going to the SailPoint. Yeah, so I want to go to log into SailPoint and then show you guys. Yep. Well, let me go there. Yep, so I just started the Tomcat services. So this is one of the running VMs of my batches, guys. Yep. So I'll just log into SailPoint. I think the Tomcat services are running. Yep, so this is a sample VM. As I said, there are a lot of customizations they have done on this particular VM, so it's fine. So this is as part of the branding. You can see the new logo here. So instead of the SailPoint logo, the traditional SailPoint logo. So this is my custom logo, and you also see the font color, everything is different, and the version I'm using is 8.1, guys. Okay, let me log into SailPoint. Yep, so let me go to the connectors, guys. Okay, so when you want to see the all list of connectors inside the SailPoint, so you need to navigate to this applications here. So click on the applications, and then click on the application definition. Yep, so application definition. So let me click on this application definition. So there you tend to see here a lot of applications are already onboarded, already integrated with the SailPoint in this particular VM. Well, so let me directly go here, guys. Okay, you see a lot of applications. So there were 26 applications. You can see it here. Active Directory I have, enterprise CRM portal, SAP. So there's a lot of applications I have. So if you want to see the technical connectors, you need to click on Add New Application, and there you could see all the list of connectors that are all available inside the SailPoint, guys. Okay, so let me show you that particular connector page. Yep, so this is my application, edit application page. So let me click on application type. So these are all the list of connectors you see here. So these are all the connectors that are all available. Like, we do have, Adam Direct, AAX Direct, Active Directory Direct, okay, Azure Active Directory Direct, BMC Remedy, Dropbox, Dio, G Suite, GoToMeeting, IBM DB2. So there are a lot of connectors that are all available inside the SailPoint as a default connectors. We can leverage these connectors, and then we can perform the integrations inside the SailPoint, guys. Okay, so the expectation from the interviewer would be, what are all the what are all the connectors you have worked on? Okay, what are the applications you have completed? Yeah, so so that those kind of questions you can expect, guys. Okay, well, or they might ask you a simple question like, no, can you tell me what are all the connectors you have onboarded, or maybe explain a single connector which you have onboarded. Yeah, well, so the or maybe when it comes to the Active Directory application onboarding, you can tell them like, it's a we need a host configuration, domain configuration, the connection parameters. Those are all the details we need in order to onboard a specific application inside the SailPoint. Yeah, now they might ask you further in details. Okay, so not the technical part. No, they might ask you how you gonna onboard a application. Okay, they might tell you, okay, I will give you an application, so can you tell me how you onboard the application? So this is also one of the common questions you can expect. So when this kind of question has been arrived, so you can say a step-by-step process. Okay, so I have derived a step-by-step process here. Okay, so the very first step would be application questionnaire. Okay, so you're going to prepare a application questionnaire, like what are all the details that are all required from the application stakeholder, or what are all the application specification I should be knowing when I want to integrate a Active Directory application. So we will prepare a kind of a technical questionnaire. It may be a kind of Excel sheet, or maybe a kind of document file. Okay, so when you have this format, could be anything, guys. Okay, so you can follow a standard questionnaire format, that is Excel sheet, so where you can maintain what is the application name, so the basic details about the application, what is the application name, what is a step by step, what are all the application, who is the application owner. Okay, so how the application uh, joiner lever process is being handled, how the actual creation of the account is happening currently in the application. So those sort of discussions you need to have with the application team, guys. Okay, that is with the application stakeholder. Okay, so where you can collect all the informations, you can capture all the informations in the questionnaire. That questionnaire, it will become a handy questionnaire throughout the process of the application onboarding, guys. Okay, so whenever you need, you can go to that questionnaire. Okay, what is the application team has you know no, given the details of. Okay, what is the name of the application, who is the owner of the application. Okay, or the technical details about the application, whether it is a cloud based application or it is a on premises application. Okay, how many number of accounts they have. Okay, how the permissions are being managed. Okay, how many different type of permissions are there, is there any administrator. Okay, what is the day to day, what are the day-to-day operations they are performing on the application. Okay, so those sort of details you have to collect it from the application team, guys. Okay, so that is all about the application questionnaire. Yeah, and eventually we will be converting, we will be leveraging that particular application questionnaire in your application onboarding. Okay, we're going to bring the details of that particular application inside the SailPoint as well. Yeah, so that is where we need a questionnaire. Yeah, first would be questionnaire. Second point would be the stakeholder connects, guys. Okay, so you need to have at least 2 to 3 stakeholder meetings in order to collect all the informations of the application, the basic details about the applications. Okay, it's not like in a single sit everything will be completed. Okay, so there will be a frequent connects that are all whenever it is required. So there should be a connects in the application onboarding, regular connects that needs to be happening with the application team to understand what are the details, all of that. And you can also capture certain details in the application questionnaire, like if there are any recent upgrades, or is there are any decommissioning happening in the near future. So upgrades, so let me tell you one one thing happened recently, or maybe uh, with one of the customers which I worked with. So I want to share that information. Like once we have onboarded the application. Okay, now they have what they have done is, okay, so they have upgraded their system. So when they upgraded it without informing us, then we ended up with a lot of issues in it. Okay, so that's kind of upgrades. Okay, so if they do after your integration, if they do upgrade it to certain version, they, let us assume there are some compatibility issues with the SailPoint. Okay, so during that kind of phases, you have to, that would be a kind of challenging situation. Okay, where we need to handle kind of uh, that is where, guys. Okay, that is the safest thing. You should be capturing that information in the application questionnaire. Okay, yeah, so that will help you a lot when you onboard certain application, guys. Okay, or you should know about the entire near future about that application, guys. Okay, so whichever you are going to onboard inside the organization, whichever you are going to onboard inside the sale point. Okay, whether it is going to be retired in the near future or decommissioned, that information you need to have. Okay, so well, next The stakeholder connects, as I said, you need to have at least 2 to 3 connects in order to collect all the connection parameters that are all required to integrate inside the SailPoint. Like maybe in case of Active Directory, you need a host name, we need an administrator account, a service account, or a service password. So those details you might need to have in order to perform your integrations. Okay. So well, next, understanding of the JML process. As I was talking about the third point, which is my understanding of the JML process, guys. Okay, so the proper understanding you need to have, okay, about the joiner, lever, mover, how the new account is being created, how the permissions are being managed inside the application, when it comes to the access switching or access changing, okay, how they are handling it inside the organization. So that kind of inside the application, inside their own application, that details you need to collect it, guys. Okay, so that is a basic understanding you need to have how they are managing that particular accounts in the application, in the current business use cases, or what are all the use cases they are performing. Okay, those are all the process of the applications you might need to be aware of. Okay, because this will help you, because eventually we are going to automate this structure, right? We are going to automate the account operations with via SailPoint. So that is where you need to have that visibility of what exactly the current applications accounts are being handled when it comes to the joiner, lever, mover phases, or maybe whether the account is being deleted or whether the account is being temporarily, okay, let us assume in the lever process, if someone is leaving the organization, okay, whether the account is being deleted, or whether account is being captured for the audit processes or the archival processes, or they do not want to disable any account. Okay, so those kind of details you need to have, guys. Okay. Well, next, determining the approach. Okay, so what is the fitment? Okay, so next we have the fitment, like the fourth point, determining the approach of the connector, like what connector you're gonna choose for this particular application. Okay, in terms of technically, so connector is nothing but a technical term. Application or connector, there's a slight difference in business knowledge. In the business knowledge, we call it as a application, but in the technical terms, an application can also be called as a connector. So when you want to technically integrate it with any of the other systems, then we call it as a connector with the help of the list of connectors we just saw, right? So that is a determining the connector. Let us assume your customer is using Workday. Okay, in that case, you need to collect the informations of Workday connector, like in terms of onboarding a connector, Workday application, what are the connection parameters do you need? Yeah, and the roles mapping or the entitlement mapping. Okay, so those are the details you need to have, guys. Okay, so the connection parameters and the roles and entitlement mapping. So these are all the few details. Okay, these are all the steps. Okay, you need to focus when you want to onboard the application. So the order could be anything. So, but this is the layman order, I would say. Application questionnaire, stakeholder connects to collect the details, or the follow-ups you're going to do with the application team. Okay, understanding of the JML process, or you can say like determining the appropriate connector, what connector I'm going to use inside the SailPoint. Once I decided the connector, what are the connection parameters I need to collect from the application team, or the roles and the entitlements, how they are being mapped, how they are being used, those details. Okay, so let me take an application and let me show you that information. Okay, so let me take the onboarded application, or maybe a new application connector you can take. So it would be the same thing. So let's take Active Directory itself, as it's already onboarded. Okay, I would go with the Active Directory one. So why we need to know the ownership, guys, in the application questionnaire? So the reason behind is, so though you see here, so there is a mandatory field which is called as owner. Okay, we need to supply the ownership of the application, guys. Okay, that is the reason we need the owner information of the application, which you are getting captured inside your questionnaire. Yeah, so next we have the application type. So this is the connector. As I said, the choose selecting of connectors. So I've chosen the Active Directory here, and then you can go to the connection parameters. I was talking about the connection parameters. So you see here. So the IQ service details, IQ service host name, administrator username, password. Okay, so those are all the details I'm collecting from the application team. Yeah, so this is the connection. See, who will give me this particular Active Directory administrator username and password, guys? Eventually the AD team, right? The AD team will give me those details. The AD application team. Yeah, well. So next we have the all the OUs, or you want to take the complete forest, or you want to take certain OUs you want to bring inside the SailPoint that you're going to supply it here. Okay. Next we have the schema. So you're gonna discuss about the attributes. So, okay, these are all the attributes that are all there inside the SailPoint. No, Active Directory attributes. Okay, so what are all the Active Directory attributes? No, you have, and you're gonna establish a connectivity between the application and with the Active Directory. Okay, so that connectivity part also. Once you provide the right details, like administrator username, password, all those details. Okay, you can do a preview here. Okay, let me click on a preview button. So it will give you a list of accounts that are all, coming from the Active Directory application. Yes. Okay, so there's some connectivity issue. Okay, no, not from SailPoint, I believe. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Yeah. So you see here, so I am able to get the response from the no. Yep. So I'm able to get the accounts. I'm able to preview the accounts and their attributes. It means the connectivity has been established properly, guys. Okay. So that is where you need that interaction. Like what are the attributes? So if you want to manipulate the attributes, you can manipulate these attributes as well. Yeah. So next we have the accounts. See, these are all the accounts, list of accounts. Yeah. Well, so let me quickly come back to my slides. Yep. So the next common question you could expect is what is a PAM? Okay. What is a PAM and what is privileged access management? And can you name some of the standard no, PAM accounts, privileged access management accounts? Okay. So what is a PAM, guys? Okay. Privileged access management comes under one of the categories of IAM, identity and access management. So this is mainly used to track the user accesses to control the elevated access. So when I say elevated access, that is a privileged access inside the organization. Okay. So privileged accesses. Let us assume. So there is a server administrator or network administrator who is trying to log into certain application or the server. Okay. So during the time, what happens is so no. So that is a privileged account. Yes. Okay. So that is called as a privileged account because the privileges what you have to do the modifications on the application server that will not be there for a ideal user, right? So yeah, so this is one of the way of granting the permissions to the user. That is the elevated access, or I can say privileged access. So during that, no, yeah. Well, let me talk about some PAM accounts. What are the different type of PAM accounts we have? So I do have certain accounts which I have named few PAM accounts here, like local administrator account. So in my example, I was talking about that one, right? So which is my local administrator account. Okay. So domain administrator account. So that is the AD administrator account or break glass account. So that is break glass account is nothing but a emergency account, guys. Okay. So during certain breakdown or something happening inside the application on the emergencies, they do prepare. So they do create these emergency accounts in order to mitigate those particular emergency or to meet those emergency requirements, guys. Okay. So that is called as a break glass accounts, not a traditional administrator account. Yeah. Next we have the Active Directory domain service accounts, application accounts. Okay, so these are all the privileged accounts. Okay, privileged access management accounts that needs more focus. There are a lot of tools in the market like CyberArk, Ping Federate. No, so those are all the tools. Okay, Beyond Trust. So those are all the privileged account management tools, guys. Okay, so which are all trending in the market as well. So if you want to go into that area, uh, that is also one of the booming areas. So there are PAM tools like CyberArk, so which does the job of recording your session, session recording, password rotation, and there are a lot of things, guys. Okay, which will be done by the safes, creating the secure safes, vaults. Like it will create a vault for you where you are. It will secure the passwords, locations, regions, everything during the access. And you can always do restrict the accesses based on the regions and all of that, guys. Okay, so that is called as a PAM. Yeah, so next, what is the other common interview questions you can expect? That is my governance and administration. Okay, so they might ask you what is the importance of governance. Since you are coming from the SailPoint background, since you are have SailPoint experience, so they would expect you to tell what is the importance of compliance manager module, or what is the compliance manager module, or what are the benefits, or what are the importance of the compliance manager module. Okay, so identity governance is a crucial area of SailPoint. Governance is also one of the crucial areas. Spam is also one of the crucial areas. That is where no, see when you want to be a proper identity and access management engineer, then okay, they do expect you to know PAM, compliance, onboarding, offboarding, all those things, guys. Okay, so what is compliance manager module? Compliance manager module is one of the core components of SailPoint, or I could say a fundamental module inside the SailPoint, which does the job of few things, majorly these areas like access certification processing. That is my automatic audits. Okay, this is my automatic audit part. Automatic audit process, compliance and reporting. Okay, monitoring. As I said, compliance and reporting means doing analytics, all those sort of things on top of the user. Yeah, regulatory compliance frameworks, continuous reviews, checks, or the accessibilities on the user, automating the no users accesses based on certain no streamlines, enforcement of policies. Okay, like doing creating a policy, enforcing on top of the user those policies, SOD policies, or any those sort of things, guys. Okay, next, risk measurements. Okay, so risk measurements and forecasting, it's one of the important topics. In SailPoint we have something called as risk scorecards. So based on the risk scorecards, you can forecast the risk inside the organization, guys. Okay, you can measure the risk. Okay, there are certain major factors that revolves around the risk. One of the factors is SODs, like if the user is not following the SOD principles or rules, then if you are deviating from the SODs, then there is a more risk coming from the policy violations, or maybe a policy policy violations or detections, policy violation detections. Okay, and the other important factor is the audit age, how frequently the user is getting audited. Okay, so that is one of the risk measurements. And the risk measurement can be happening from the no as I said, the policy violations, and the other one is the audits. Okay, so that is the timely audits are happening or not. And the other thing is the sensitivity of the access, guys. Okay, so whether the user is having the critical access or not. If the user is having that more critical accesses, let us assume there is an employee who has payroll access, guys. Okay, payroll access. So I want to call that payroll access as a sensitive access or a critical access, guys. Yeah. So when the user has that sensitive or critical accesses, business critical accesses, then it should be associated with some risk around it. Okay, it should generate some risk around it. Yeah, so those kind of forecasting you can do, guys. Okay, so if you determine, okay, if this XYZ axis uh, should be treated as a critical access, and it should generate this amount of risk inside the organization. Okay, if you do that, you can forecast the risk inside the SailPoint Identity IQ. There is a topic which comes in SailPoint Identity IQ, which is called as risk scorecards or risk scores. during that time, so you will tend to see this measurement of risk and forecasting as well. Yeah. Let me go to the other ones. Yeah. So the next question, no, they may ask you is, what is the provisioning and deprovisioning? So very commonly asked question is provisioning and deprovisioning. So provisioning is, you know, giving the automatic way of giving the access to the user, creating the identities digitally, okay, giving them the access, required accesses on based on a job title, based on a department, generating a email ID for them. So those things comes under provisioning, guys. Okay, so basically creating an account in the target application. Okay, so one of the biggest IT infrastructure things that are all needed when the user got onboarded inside the organization. The very challenge that we'll face is, giving the access to the employee, a new employee. Okay, so that is the, giving him an access to the help desk, or all of that. So those things can be automated with the help of a provisioning. Okay, so that is basically a birthright accesses. So there is a concept of birthright accesses. Okay, in an automated fashion, we can give the birthright access to the user for the infrastructure related applications and all of that. So how the automated provisioning can be happening inside the SailPoint if they specifically ask. So you can answer them like as part of self-services. We can give the access as part of a workflow. A workflow can grant you the access to the system. No, discretionary, like, based on some criteria, giving certain accesses based on certain logic. We can give the access to the user no, by writing some custom rule. Yeah. Next, we have the automated fashion. So that is the automated fashion. As I said, the roles, based on the roles and entitlement assignments, you can give the accesses to the user. Yes, okay. So these are all certain things. Yeah. So next it comes to the deprovisioning, guys. Okay. So deprovisioning means revoking the access, or removal of access to the user when the department transfer or a manager transfer happens inside the organization, or if the user, left the organization. Okay, so how the access removal should be happening in the organization, guys. Okay, so which is like, on the day of last working day of the user, if you want to remove all the accesses, so maybe you can have certain attribute inside the sale point which will trigger the, lever process for the user, guys. Okay, maybe a inactive, majorly in lot of implementation projects we use inactive attribute, we use last working day attribute, or maybe some kind of yeah, last working day or last, yeah, so which is the other dates. We can call it as last working day attribute, or last date attribute, or any kind of attribute you can you can consider in order to trigger the lever process, guys. Okay, yeah. So deprovisioning is nothing but removal of accesses inside the organization, guys. Okay, provisioning means granting the access, deprovisioning means removing the access. So next we have the importance of audit. Okay, so you could also expect a question like, what is the important if they are mainly looking for the certifications role, certification analyst or information security analyst. So they could expect you to know what is the importance of audit and reporting inside an organization. Yeah, so it could be, as I said, audits are very important inside the organization, which is like, audit and reporting is very, very important, as a lot of investors, stakeholders, they do look at the organizations. They don't see how the business flow is happening, what are the achievements they have done. So all that they don't see, guys. Okay, the investors will see the audit records. What are the frequent audits happened on top of that company? Whether the company audit is proper, okay, they are being regularly monetized or monitored regularly, okay, whether the right access is being maintained among the employees. SailPoint also provides certain detailed reports, guys, in order to, you know, there are a lot of default reports that will generate the access rights, policy violation reports, the account attributes report. Okay, so there are a lot of reports you can generate inside the SailPoint, guys, okay, as a default reports. So maybe if you want, I can show you those reports as well. Okay, so let me go to the report section. So here are the report section. So these are all the detailed reports you can extract it. Once you have onboarded many applications inside the SailPoint, then it's as simple as that. You can just execute default report and you can just extract the reports as well. See, there are a lot of reports I've already extracted. See, policy violation, report 2024. Yeah, so you can also see the default reports here. There are a lot of categories I have. See, that is the reporting category. See, access review and certification report, activity report, administration reports, and I also have application identity related reports, identity details report, effective live access report, user details report. Okay, so there are a lot of default reports, risk reports. You see here risk reports. We can extract the risk reports as well. Okay, so those are all the reports. So this is about the reporting part, how to generate a report. That basics you need to be having, guys. Okay. Next, the other thing is what are the development technologies or the how the programming languages that are being used in the customizing of SailPoint Identity IQ. So when you do customizations inside the SailPoint functionalities in any of the behaviors, in any of the flow of SailPoint, in any of the module of SailPoint, then what are the languages you're going to use inside your SailPoint Identity IQ? So that could be one of the common questions, or it could be one of the technical questions. They might expect you to know Java. They might expect you to know XML. Okay, so those things they would really need it when it comes to the technical aspects. Okay, technical questions. So this could come under technical questions. So as I said, most oftenly used languages are Java in SailPoint, Bean Shell. So Bean Shell is nothing but your lightweight Java, guys, again. So it's a same Java only, but the methods and whatever we're going to use, the syntaxes would be slightly different, as it would be straightforward in the Bean Shell. But when it comes to the Java, everything will come line by line. Okay. So Bean Shell means we can just whatever you're writing in Java, three liners, can be reduced to a single line. Okay, that is my Bean Shell, guys. Okay. Next, we have developers. They do expect you to know some how to create a custom connector, workflows, how to integrate an application. As I said earlier in the application onboarding question, okay, those could be some of the things they might expect from you guys. Yeah. So custom connector, you can there is a documentation and there is a custom connector package that SailPoint provides. With the help of that custom connector package, you can build the custom connectors. Yeah, so you can answer in that way, or you can explore, or you can tell them like I'm doing the research on the custom connectors. Still, I have not worked on the custom connectors. I have worked on the default connectors. So based on your experiences, based on your expertise, you can project the answer in that way, guys. Okay. So workflows, yep. So this is a commonly asked question. So they do expect you to be aware of workflows, some at least one custom workflow, some sample workflow you need to be aware of. So try to prepare one workflow that will help you to crack the interview. Okay, all of that, guys. Okay. Well, so this is one of the technical questions. Next, another technical question is what are the different types of certifications inside the SailPoint? Yes, okay. They would expect you to know what are the different types of certifications we have. They might ask you something on the certifications part. So types of certifications, like they do expect you to know what is a targeted certification, manager certification. These are all the list of certifications that are all available inside the SailPoint. Targeted certification, manager certification, application owner, advanced certification, entitlement owner certification, account group, role membership, role compensation, event-based certification, identity certifications, role compensation certification. So these are all the popular certifications, guys. Okay. So you could strike it down this. It's repeated here. Let me, yeah. So these are all the list of certifications and targeted certification is nothing but ad hoc basis. Okay. Launching the certification campaign on ad hoc basis is called as targeted certification. Yeah. Manager certification is the manager will review the subordinate access and he will evaluate the subordinates access, whether they should have the right access or wrong access. No, that will be evaluated by the certifier. So let me show you that quickly. Let me show you one of these certifications since the certifications have come, the topic has come. So let me go there and I can just navigate it and show you guys how the certification will exactly look like. Show you the certifications. Yeah, so this is my certification I have launched for one of the certifications. So let's take this Catherine Simmons manager certification. It's completed actually. So these are all my lab activities, guys, which I have performed for my previous batches. So you see few things here. Yeah, so how the decisions have been taken and all of things, all of that will be covered practically. Yep, so there's a certification which has got completed. So you can see here access reviews is one-on-one complete, 100% completed. So what are the decisions? How many have been remediated? How many have been approved? What is the phase of certification? Who is the certifier? All those details you could be seeing it here. And you can see the decisions also by clicking on these button. You can see the certifier's view and you can always do what decisions the certifier has taken. Yep, so this is a manager certification, one of the manager access reviews. So see here, all have been revoked. So either it could be approved or either it could be revoked. Okay, so those things you could tend to see it here. Yeah. So this is the certifications part. Well, so RBAC, they would expect you to know what is a RBAC, role-based access control. So the role-based access control, yep, role-based access control. So they might ask you what is a RBAC or ABAC. RBAC means role-based access control. So there's an approach called as RBAC approach. In SailPoint, we have roles like business role, IT role, organization role, entitlement role. Okay, and what is the benefit of roles inside the SailPoint? So they might ask you that one as well as part of a technical question. They might ask you how the role mining happened inside SailPoint. So here is the question. So RBAC is nothing but with the help of a roles, with the assignment of roles, we write some access policies, we can define some assignment rules based on the job functions, responsibilities. No, we can do the assignment rule and we can assign those roles to the user, and eventually we can control the user's access based on his role membership. That is called as my RBAC process. ABAC process means a lot of SAP applications has this ABAC process, attribute based access control. It's more flexible and reliable, like compared to the RBAC. So based on this, but if the user has this attribute value, then assign this particular permission. Yeah. So that is the ABAC, guys. Attribute based access control. Yeah. A lot of other tools, IAM tools have this feature, not SailPoint. In SailPoint, we do have attribute based access. We can do grant the access based on the attributes, based on the target permissions, everything via match list. Yeah. So there's some activity. Yeah. When it comes to the role mining, how the role creation will happen, how to create a business role, how to create a IT role. Okay, so that is what they would be uh, asking you guys. So the role mining process, how to discover a role, how to define a role, all of that. The structured process of role. So next, they would also be expecting you to know what is the concept of policies, SODs inside the SailPoint. That is the segregation of duties. Uh, there are different types of policies inside the SailPoint, guys. Like risk policy, uh, entitlement SOD policy, role SOD policy, account policy, advanced policy. So policy is nothing but if the user is having any contradictory accesses or a toxic combination of accesses. So what we can do is we can create a policy inside the SailPoint and then we can enforce the policy to the user. Like if the user is having A and B access at the same time, if the both are contradictory accesses, then no, SailPoint will treat it as a violation, guys. If it is a contradictory access, SailPoint will treat it as a violation, and SailPoint will trigger an email notification and work item to the policy violation owner. Okay, that is the policies concept actually, guys. Okay, so that is the roles, conflicting roles, or it could be conflicting entitlement memberships. We can enforce the policies on top of those particular policies. So next we have the JML. So how the JML takes place inside the SailPoint. So they could also ask you how the JML takes place, like joiner, leaver, mover, rehire process, manager, transfer process. As I was telling you guys earlier, a joiner process that can be triggered with the help of a joiner, no, joining date, or it could be a attribute, all of that. Yep. So joiner lever processes, and also they would expect you to know what is how the self-services takes place inside the SailPoint. The self-services portal means granting the access to the user by himself. Yeah. Next, another popular technical question is what is the difference between rule and script, guys? Okay. So what is the technical differences between rule and script? So rule is nothing but it is a reusable one, guys. Okay. So you can reuse if you define a rule once, it's more than enough. So it can be used for a multiple applications as well. But when it comes to the script is only specific to that particular application only. Yeah. So that is a restriction, guys. Okay. And also, if there is a more lines of code, then we go for a rule. If it is a single line of code, we'll tell it as a script. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So rule is nothing but your reusability. Yeah. Script is nothing but script will not have a reusability at all. Okay. Whatever you have used for that at that particular application for that functionality, it will work well. So what is a workflow? So there's one more question. Self-service portal, guys. Okay, let me talk about the self-service portal. So self-service portal is nothing but SailPoint can also be used as a self-service portal. So you will tend to see here if the user identity is not present inside the SailPoint, what we can do is we can obviously user can do register himself. Yeah. So rules. Yep. Let me walk you through those rules once. Yep. Yeah. So you guys see here new registration, guys. Okay. So you identity as a credentials, you can log into the SailPoint. If it doesn't credentials, then you can always do new registration. You can click on new registration. You can always do register himself, guys. This is my new registration. See, this is a form, new registration form. Okay, I think it does not have a proper form. That's fine, but no, here it display a form and where the user can even click on it and then log into the SailPoint. Yeah. So I think someone was asking about the connector rules. Okay, there are different types of rules, Tanya. We have a connector rule, aggregation rule, provisioning rule, uh, field value rule, identity target rule. So there are different areas we use a rules lot. Okay, let me just show you a few. I think it's loading here. So in the AD, I have used a couple of rules. I would try to show you. So let me go to uh, rules. Yep. So see here, guys. So aggregation rules. Okay. So here is my aggregation rules, provisioning rules, schema rules. So see here before provisioning, after provisioning rule, customization rule, account customization, group customization. So when you bring the groups inside the SailPoint, you can customize them. When you're building the accounts, you can customize the behavior of the accounts. All of that can be achievable with the help of this account rules or the customization rules. Okay, correlation rule, creation rule. So creation rule is something if you want to during the identity creation, you want to do something, link creation, you want to perform some activities, you can do via with the help of a creation rule. Yeah. Yep. So this is something about the rules. So there are some field value rules also there in the provisioning policies. You will tend to see those field value rules. In the form level, you will find those rules, guys. Okay. Yep. So this is a field value SAM account name. So I'm extracting the SAM account name from this particular. Yeah. So see here, return identity. I have used a script here. So this is a script I'm using in this particular for supplying the SAM account name. I'm using this particular script here. So you can use script rule, everything else. Okay. For scripting, I believe I'm using some script. Okay. Let me show you that. Okay. I'm using a rule or script. Yep. So I think here also I'm using a standard value. That's fine. Yeah, well, so these are rules you can use instead of a value. You can use a rule, or this is called as a field value. Okay, so next I have the last slide for the day. Okay, uh, last question for the day. That is a business process. What is a business process? They would expect you to know what is a business process or workflow. A business process is nothing but a sequence of steps or the operations that can be executed inside the SailPoint. Yeah, it is an out-of-the-box behavior of SailPoint. It's a concept. There are a lot of custom workflows. There are a lot of uh, inbuilt workflows we have. Yep. All right. So if you go through one of the inbuilt workflows, that will really help you while you are building the custom workflows and all of that, guys. Okay. Well. Yep. So yep. So this, what are the business processes that are all required? See, why we need the workflows? Workflows can do role creation for us. It can do identity update, identity refresh, identity correlation. It can create a role, assign a role, de-assign a role, activate a role to the user, deactivate it, a life cycle event such as joiner, lever, mover, a custom event. Actually, one for hidden secret is you cannot schedule the workflows, but you can do scheduling custom tasks. So basically, we will create some custom tasks, and then from the custom task, we'll call the workflows, guys. So workflows can't be scheduled inside the same. Yeah. Next, one more thing I want to conclude is with the before I go to the Q&A. So there's a conclusion and final thoughts for the day I want to share. So 94% of market adoption, guys. SailPoint Identity IQ is widely adopted across the countries, US, UK, no, which other country, Germany, you take, no, there are a lot of projects, lot of clients are using SailPoint, even Indian projects like a lot of no, clients. I don't want to name them, but there are financial sectors they are using the SailPoint as their. So market adoption is there. So if you learn SailPoint, you can be a market no hot cake. Yeah, you can be a good skilled engineer. You can be grabbed as soon as possible. So we have the 35,000 customer base, 3,500 customer bases that is across the market, across the industries or organization. 3,500 plus organizations are using the SailPoint globally, and 80% of customer satisfaction. Like a lot of customers, they are they are achieving what they need, and all the business benefits they are getting. So that is the customer satisfaction rate. So you can imagine how boom SailPoint is having. Okay, for next 10 years, I see the road is very clear, taking 200 speed. So the thing is, SailPoint, the market is waiting for skilled professionals. Are you a skilled professional? Then you are always welcome for the opportunities that are open in the market.